Hey YouTube, this is Eminent Hero. Today's video will be about the September ban list. First, let me show you the logo. Yeah, I handmade this myself. Alright, let's start with the video. Alright, on the forbidden list we have Fishboard Blaster, Mind Master, Giant Trinade, and Royal Oppression. Alright, it's not much a big deal with me. It's understandable why Fishboard got hit on there with all the XYZs coming out. And those fast-paced synchro decks are using them. It was only a matter of time before he got banned, because you can easily go to rank 1 XYZ if you had the 3 cards to discard. If you have 3 cards and 3 of them in the graveyard, so you can go special summon, special summon, special summon, XYZ, rank 1. And there's a lot of good rank 1s too. Mind Master, it's been hit limited before. We all know why it got limited. Now banned, we all saw that coming too. Giant Trinade. I think that got banned because Swords and Call to Haunted came up to 2, and possibly some other reasons, I'm not sure. Now, Royal Oppression being banned, I'm kind of confused about, because it's kind of going against the ban list. If anything, the thing should still be limited to 1, but with all the XYZs, I would say at least 2. So that way, you can handle special summons more. But I think it got banned so you can kind of, push the use of XYZ so people can get the feel of them. So that the way next ban list can accommodate towards how people are using them. So that way we find a ban list that's appropriate for sustaining the XYZ monsters. Restricted cards. Blacklisted Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. He's pretty much just a beefy version of Chaos Sorcerer. So the reason why he was probably banned back then is because of the format of that time and the decks going around then. But now, him being limited to 1 is no big deal. He just has the extra effect of being able to attack twice, or also he has 3,000 attack. He's a warrior, so he's just like I said, a beefed up version of Chaos Sorcerer with just an added effect. Debris Dragon getting limited to 1, that's understandable. Lone Fire is understandable. Legendary 6 Samurai Shin, understandable. Don't really care for the 6 Samurais anyway. Tech Genesis Hyper Librarian, called that one. Formula Synchron, called that one too. Reason being is because them two cause synchro draw engine that any deck can have. If your deck was fast-paced synchro, which is mainly those net deck, Lightsworn, Twilight, and hybrid bullcrap decks that people be net decking all the time, or lazily throwing together, those decks can synchro very fast. So therefore, you can run Hyper Librarian and Formula Synchron and keep drawing cards off it easily. Heavy Storm got banned. I mean, not banned. It's brought back up to 1. Well, bye setting mad cards on the first turn, because you never know we're going to get hit with a Heavy Storm. Primal Seed. Not much to say about that. It's a good card if you use right. It's good for macro decks too. Sheehan Smoke Signal and Potter Avarice. Sheehan Smoke Signal got limited to 1 because, of course, everybody, those people who ride on the 6 Samurais nuts all the time, always got to net deck those just because they want an easy win. Potter Avarice got limited to 1 because, like I said, those like I mentioned earlier about those Twilight fast-paced synchro decks that are just net deck. Potter Avarice got limited to those because all you really see is that I see of those Lightsworn hybrids are those not those tech units, the Tengu Sworn or the Doppel Dandy, whatever the heck you want to call it, Sworn. It's just so many Lightsworn hybrids out there, and of course all of them have a Judgment Dragon in it. But yet the Lightsworn deck does not use quote unquote Judgment Dragon to win, but it's in every Lightsworn deck or Lightsworn hybrid deck. The cards that are at 2 now are Summoner Monk. That's a good one right there. He's actually very, very useful when it comes to XYZ and Synchros, because he's a level 4, so you can just discard to get a level 4 tuner, and you can Synchro or XYZ for rank 4s. If anything, I think they're bringing him up to 2, like I mentioned earlier, to also push the use of XYZ monsters so people can get the overall use of them. Tragodia came up to 2, don't see why he was limited in the first place, because no one ever uses the effect to steal your opponent's monsters. So far as I've seen, but by what I was seeing in my locals, no one does that. They just use the level copy effect. Necrogarda up to 2. Welcome back, Lightsworns. I don't care that Lumina is still limited to 1 or Charge of Light Brigade is still limited to 1. The fact that Necrogarda came up to 2 and Judgment Dragon came up to 3 is still enough to get the Lightsworn almost back to their original release deck list, where they had like 3 Onyxes, Luminas, and etc. You're just pretty much making them like usable more again. So it's just going to really push a lot of the late sworn dick riders out there to use the deck again. And believe you me, I've been on Dual Network a lot. I've been to my locals every Friday, and you will not believe the many people that still late sworn dick ride, because it's a deck that takes no thought. It plays the same way over and over again, but you always win through Judgment Dragon. Alright, the Lauren, Tiger Prince of the Ice Barrier, I don't see why he's limited to 2 anyway. I don't really give 2 craps about the thing. Only good use I can see about him are cards that can be reused that are face up, like Call of the Hornet Swords, and monsters that have a summon effect like Stratos, etc. Destiny Draw up to 2. That's a good one, thank goodness. Swords of William Light came up to 2. I think they brought that up to 2 to kind of defend against the massive XYZ summons you're going to be getting. Mind Crush coming up to 2 is actually very good, because with a lot of the search going on, you can just call a lot of stuff and get rid of them. Call of Hornet up to 2. I think since they realize they're not going to bring back Premature Burial, they're just going to give you an extra Call of the Hornet just to make up for that. The unbanned list, you got Icarus Attack, welcome back, Black Wings and Harpies. Out of all the Winged Beast decks I've seen, Harpy deck is the only Winged Beast deck I've seen that can literally win without using Icarus Attack, because they have so much support and backfield control and monster control, as well as they can immediately like flood the field with Harpies and go into XYZs and Synchros. Black Wings literally is just nothing but a beatdown Swarm Synchro deck. So of course they're going to need the extra control, which is why Icarus Attack is so essential to them. Without Icarus Attack, they don't have that control of destroying 2 cards a turn, like Harpies can do regardless. So, because Harpy got the field spell card, they can let them destroy backfield when you summon a Harpy. Black Wings don't have a field spell card, so they have to rely on Icarus Attack to destroy it, to get the constant popping 2. Trust me, when Icarus Attack was limited to 2, I barely saw Black Wing decks at my locals. So that's all the proof I need to see, as well as going against one. That's all I needed to see, that they didn't really have the extra kick by having 3 Icarus Attacks. Alright, 3 Gravity Binds. I think that came up to 3 because with XYZs coming out, being that they're not levels, they're ranks, it wouldn't make sense to have Gravity Bond limited to 1, so just bring it up to 3. But this is also going to make people pursue making nothing but strict XYZ decks that run 3 Gravity Bonds, and all they do is XYZ summon, so they can keep attacking through Gravity Bond, because like I said, they have ranks, they're not levels. So they can just keep beating you down. And the only way you can attack them is 1, you negate or destroy Gravity Bind. 2, have monsters that are unaffected by traps. Or 3, you have XYZs. That's it. Megamorph came up to 3. I don't think Demise will be making an appearance anytime soon, but you might get a couple people that will make that deck again. MST came up to 3. Alright, I mean, limited to 1, never really saw why. Yeah, it's chainable, but still. In that case, limit Dust Tornado to 1, because if you set MST, you're pretty much essentially setting a Dust Tornado. So in that case, Dust Tornado should be limited to 1 as well, because it has the extra effect that you set in the card. So if Dust Tornado can always be at 3, then MST could always be at 3. But still don't understand why it was limited in the first place. With MST and Heavy Storm coming up, I would like to see Judgment of Anubis being played. Now, it's a counter track that says when your opponent activates a spell card that includes the effect of destroying a spell or track card, you negate and destroy the card, and you can destroy 1 monster on the field and inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack. Now that you have 4 cards in the game that's popular and staples that can do that, you can run Judgment of Anubis as a side deck. I always liked that card. It's just back in the day when Heavy Storm and MST were the only ones used. And being that MST was limited to 1, you barely used it. But when MST up to 3 and Heavy up to 1, Judgment of Anubis can be used more. So I got my 3. So I got my side deck ready for people that use that. Overload Fusion. Welcome back, Cyber Dragon Dick Riders. Spirit Reaper is good. They came up to 3. I mean, the card dies upon targeting. The only thing that will make it limited is probably because of the use of zombie decks. That you can keep bringing the thing back. But other than that, the card has so many ways to deal with it now. Now, the only thing on this list that's bothering me, that makes no sense no matter how you look at it or what you say, is Judgment Dragon coming up to 3. Let's take a look at Judgment Dragon and his dark counterpart, Dark Arm Dragon. Okay, Dark Arm Dragon is only 2800 attack, level 7 I think. His effect says you have to have exactly 3 dark monsters in the graveyard, no more, no less, to special summon him. not once per turn. You can remove from play one dark monster to destroy one card on the field, which means you only have one pop per use. It's not a once per turn effect. It's just you can only activate his effect to remove one dark monster, not two. It's just one for one per use. So with that being said, if you summon him, call priority, and we can play that one dark monster and pop that one card, and he gets killed, you're not going to see him again. If Darkron gets bottomless, you're not going to see him again because, well, as far as I know, there's no move from play card that has a dark move from play monster or move from play monster in general to your hand that people will use on him. Also, he cannot be special summoned except for that way. So unless you're going to use Monster Incarnation to put him back in your hand and resummon him, which I have never seen anyone do, then you're really only get a one shot out of him. And he's limited to one, so that further pushes the fact that you're only going to see him once on average. The average player only uses Darkron Dragon once, just to get that pop out of him. And for every time you use the effect, you're limiting your resources to summon him again if you happen to get him back. Now let's look at Judgment Dragon. He's a light level 8 dragon. Okay, one, he can be used for trading. Darkron can only be used for lighten the load, which is not used. Judgment Dragon, when you summon him and call priority, you can pay 1,000 to bond the field. And that's not a once per turn effect either. You can keep doing it as much as you want. So if you summon Judgment Dragon, call priority to bond the field, and he gets bottomless, okay, you lost that Judgment Dragon. But there's a card that can add a move from play light monster to your hand called Light of Redemption. No one would use that, but I'm sure someone will figure it out and do it soon. Also, if you summon Judgment Dragon, call priority, and people just like, well, you can't call priority because summon gets negated, but if you solemn warning him, okay, you got another one to worry about. You just pretty much wasted it because I have never played a Lightsworn deck where they didn't have at least 2 Judgment Dragons in their hand when they summoned the first one. Now, let's say the situation was your opponent had no way to stop Judgment Dragon. What you'll do is summon the first one, bottom field, summon the other one, and the third one. That's game right there. That's 9,000 you just took. And don't tell me that, well, won't you just side against Judgment Dragon, side against Lightsworns in general? Well, couldn't they do the same thing to you? I'm going to side in 3 light prisoning mirrors, 2 solemn warnings, and a solemn judgment, and a royal oppression. Okay, with that being said, they can side in 3 dust tornadoes, a royal decree, and 3 MSTs and heavy storm. So what makes you think just because you side against them, they ain't going to do the same to you? With that being said, Lightsworn decks are almost the perfect deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was the hardest deck to beat, and it always topped and topped and topped and topped. Then people started using it and using it and using it. No matter what you say, you cannot tell me that Lightsworns were almost the perfect deck in the game. Look at the impact they had on this game. Look how many people make hybrid decks with them just because they want that engine and that Judgment Dragon use. With Judgment Dragon coming common in Legendary Collection 2, all these Lightsworn Nut Riders will be with them. 3 of them per deck. Probably one side deck with 2 main decks. So with Judgment Dragon being up to 3, there's no logical reason to explain why you would do that. Yeah, you can be like, oh, you summon Judgment Dragon, it's going to kill it. Solemn warning it. Okay, now you got to worry about 2 more. So what you going to do about the other 2? You can only run 2 solemn warnings. So what you going to do about the last one? You just paid 4,000 life moves to stop the first 2. Plus they're in the graveyard now. They can just get Beckoning Light. Discard 3 cards, get the 3 back. Tell me one Lightsworn that has not ever ran Beckoning Light in it. And if they got it in their hand, they will set it and they will use it. And they will get their Judgment Dragons back. That's all I ever seen it used on was Judgment Dragon. People say that Lightsworns don't rely on Judgment Dragon. Then why does the deck always have him in it? And why is it every time he dies they try to get him back? You're denial that the deck runs on it. You don't want to admit it. Every time I play against the Lightsworn deck, I'll beat them down because it's pretty much no more than the average deck without Judgment Dragon. And all you gotta worry about is just Celestia. Celestia is just what you'll worry about without JD. All she does is pop 2 cards. She's just a monarch. So every time I play Lightsworn deck, I'm always beating them down. I can deal with everything they throw at me. It's just when they summon Judgment Dragon, it's always the changer because you don't always have the counter to stop him. So you lost your whole field. They kept it 3,000. Then they summon 2 more and you lose. Or in this format, or a previous format, you just summon 1 more. You just lost 6,000 right there. Which on average, you'll lose 2,000 in the first couple of turns. So you pretty much lost. So it's every time Judgment Dragon comes out, the game changes dramatically. Every time I watched a YouTube video, every time I played on Duel Network, even on my DS game, Judgment Dragon was always the biggest game changer in the Lightsworn deck because it's what they rely on. You cannot deny, you cannot say that that's not true. You see it with your own eyes. So stop being naive. Well, with all that being said, this is all I had to talk about. I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine named Jamon. I think his YouTube account name is Mad King Jamon. But his Facebook is called Jamon Hadley Stackhouse. Just want to let him know that, yeah, I got your message. I want to shout out to you. I'm sorry that I said your name wrong, but I'm also going to get a shout out to my other YouTube subscribers. I don't know all y'all because there's like 152 of them. I thank y'all for 152. I hope I can get more because, like I said, I speak a lot. I speak a lot of truth about this game based on my opinion. Whoever disagrees, okay, that's your opinion. I respect that. I ain't trying to say I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong and I'm right. It's all based on opinion. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Dark Richician. Love the Hero Decks, man. Keep it up. Hope you hear this. Blue Eyes Demon Dragon. Dark Zero Hour. I think his name is Like Bernie. I'm gonna give a shout out to. I don't know what I said in my Blue Eyes, but since I already did, you got two shout outs. I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my friends on DC Saints named Josh Xar, Dr. Isaac, and I'm not sure where Adam's account is, but I'm gonna give a shout out to the whole DC Saints. So, yeah, if I'm missing anybody, give a shout out to all my 152 subscribers. You guys make this channel worth doing. Everybody take care of yourselves. Peace out. But before I go, I want y'all to see this. Yeah. I'm gonna do my next video just like this. And act like it's not even here. Alright guys, Eminent Hero, out.